We are back. Well, an important part of Bell Let's Talk Day is spotlighting the incredible work that's being done to strengthen mental wellness right across the country. And this is certainly happening at the more than 100 friendship centers that are dedicated to providing support to urban Indigenous peoples from region to region.
So the National Association of Friendship Centers does vital work in empowering and supporting youth. Here to tell us more about that is the NAFC's Indigenous Youth Council President, Averi Doxtator, and Youth Executive, Samantha. This is very exciting. Now, Samantha, the centers offer so much to so many youth across the country. How do you describe what you do?
So friendship centers are incredible places. It's a center for people who are away from home or living in urban centers to find a sense of community and a connection to culture.
We love that. So Averi, we know that friendship centers, they actually do place a focus on urban Indigenous youth specifically, and it comes to mental health supports. So what are the unique needs of Indigenous youth who are in cities?
Urban Indigenous youth face a number of challenges when they're living in cities. I grew up as an urban Indigenous youth in Ottawa, and I faced a number of challenges trying to connect to culture, trying to find community, and just really generally navigating such a modern landscape as an urban Indigenous youth. When I moved to Toronto about 5 years ago, I lost. I didn't know where to go. I felt like so...
Was it overwhelming?
It was overwhelming. Yeah. I felt like a fish out of water. I was in a different city. I didn't know what to do, so I found out that the Native Canadian Centre of Toronto was right up the street from my school, and I walked in, and they welcomed me with open arms. They gave me a community. Oh my God, yeah, and so friendship centers, that's what they do. They're there to support you whenever you need, throughout any time in your life. They're there, and so.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So the friendship centers, their approach is holistic. But Samantha, can you unpack that for us a little bit? What does that mean?
So it's important to reflect on the cycles of life, right? So friendship centers offer everything from prenatal to even end-of-life care.
Wow.
And all of it is wraparound supports that are rooted in culture, led with cultural safety, and are trauma-informed. So when we go into these spaces, we know that we encounter someone that knows exactly what we've been through and exactly what we feel, which is so important, you know, especially when we walk into those spaces and we're looking for support or we're looking for a program. It's really vital.
Oh my God, yeah. Averi, you chair a monthly meeting that gathers Indigenous youth from across the country so that people can voice their needs. What are the most common concerns that you hear?
Yeah, the concerns that come up in these meetings and at our annual youth forum are that youth really want professional development opportunities. They want to be able to develop their skills, develop their leadership skills, have employment opportunities. They also want intergenerational learning. They want to connect to culture. They're craving that. I've felt that firsthand. I crave that. And lastly, most importantly, they want to expand the mental health services and supports that they can receive at their friendship centers.
Oh, wow.
Can we go follow that a little bit, Samantha? Because what is it specifically that Indigenous youth need when it comes to mental health supports specifically?
So, as an urban Indigenous youth, we experience different barriers, different experiences throughout our lives, different challenges, right? And we recognize and love the support that Western, medicine offers us, but we also need to have that sense of groundedness that comes from culture, that comes from connection to one another, that comes from our elders, our true medicines for ourselves. And so being able to go to a friendship center and have that grounded in that beautiful cultural safety, grounded in trauma-informed care is really important. And so having that all-encompassing approach, instead of just, okay, here you'll go and service your mental health needs. Here you'll go and focus on your sense or connection to community. We do it all.
So that's the holistic approach.
Yes.
Everything's available right there.
Yeah, everything in one place.
So, Averi, you've been involved with the Friendship Centers pretty much since you were born, like beginning with daycare and the youth programs. But Samantha, this is relatively new for you, being involved with them. So I want to ask you, how has being involved affected your mental health?
So it was mentioned, I stepped into this pretty late on. When I started university, I didn't step into my identity until then, and being able to expand upon that and expand upon my leadership with the Friendship Centers has been really important, because I went from a place of not feeling like I was Indigenous enough to being completely empowered in my identity. And that comes from the connection to culture, that comes from the connection to other youth that have similar experience that I do, because I felt very alone in that space. And so I was able to go to a Friendship Center and realize these people are just like me. Right? And that was really healing for me.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Averi, speaking of empowerment that you mentioned, Samantha, you say that empowerment is a really key factor in improving mental health among Indigenous youth. Can you go further in that? I imagine that you experienced that personally. Can you tell us how?
Yeah, so at the core, the National Association of Friendship Centers, they really put an emphasis on empowering the next generation of leaders, innovators, everything. And they are so youth-focused that they want to make sure that the youth of the Friendship Center youth movement are equipped with the skills that they'll need in the future to take in these leadership roles and anything that's coming in our future. And so, thanks to initiatives like Let's Talk, they provide that empowerment that youth need to feel supported, and that there's an investment into their future and their hopes and dreams, and that if they choose to follow their passions, that they are supported by their movement and by the NAFC and by Let's Talk. So it's really
We
it's
really
really
appreciate that. That's
empowering
beautiful.
for the youth, yeah.
Thank you both for sharing your stories and for being with us today. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so you are hearing it firsthand. This is how your donations can help. So you can donate to the National Association of Friendship Centers today by texting youth to 45678. That is on your mobile device. Now, Bell will be matching every penny of the donation that you make, and 100, great. This part's really important. 100% of the proceeds are going to youth mental health organizations, including this one. That's important.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.